Yeah, that's definitely going to be an issue when that one is on and then this one's off. You don't want the cops to pull you over and give you a ticket for not having your lights on at night. Anyways, welcome back, YouTubers and supporters. If you're new to my channel, please subscribe and stay tuned for more crazy weekly cars and tech content. And if you want to get in contact with me, you can follow me on Instagram right here, add me on Snapchat, and you can also email me. So let's get straight into this easy do-it-yourself installation video for this 2015 Audi Q5 with the Xenon lights. The first thing you're gonna normally do is turn off the car, make sure the battery's disconnected, but I'm not gonna really disconnect the battery because it's not something I would really need to do in my case, but some people may need to disconnect the battery so you don't short circuit it. Open up the hood, and then we're gonna locate this headlight right here because this is the problem where the Xenon HID bulb is not turning on, and this car is about 80,000 miles. Roughly around 80,000 miles is when these kind of cars show signs that you guys need to replace your HID bulbs. That's the same thing that happened to my 2013 A4. Good news about that car, by the way. I finally got the job at Xfinity Comcast, and I'll be working in the next week or so. And I'm doing Forex exchanging as well, so that's doing pretty good. We're gonna see this car back on the road pretty soon, and also support my Patreon if you want to be a part of that build as well. So with these lights, I actually bought them off ECS Tuning, and this video is also sponsored by ECS Tuning, so you can buy some pretty cool aftermarket parts and OEM parts for your Audi, your VW, your Mercedes, your Porsche, and even BMWs. And these are the original OEM Philips D3S, I think 43K for this car. I'm not sure, but click the link to the description so you could buy these same ones that I have. Same ones from factory, but a little bit cheaper at ECS Tuning. So let's get straight into installing these. I bought two, as you can see, because this one's working, but I don't want to take the risk of buy this one, then this one dies out next 1,000 miles. So we're gonna locate this headlight. We're gonna find this screw right here. This one right here, this one right here, and this one right here, and disconnect the wire, and it should be loose. You can either use a key like this, a torque key, or a socket. I'm going to use a socket because it has an extension, and this is the T30 Torx. So I'm going to grab this and loosen this bolt right here, and I'm going to loosen this next bolt right here. Don't have enough clearance, but that's fine. I got a little bit loose, and this last bolt right here. So I got the 3 screws or bolts unscrewed. I'm going to put them right here on this mesh because I could maintain the original pattern and they're securely in place and I will not lose them. And it just makes this whole do-yourself video a lot cleaner. And then we're going to disconnect the wire by pulling this clip down and then pulling backwards. Be careful, you don't want to snap this. There you go. The next step is a bit tricky, is removing these little tabs. I used a prying tool, pushed the little dot down, as you can see right here, the mechanism, how it works. I pushed a little bit down, and then from there I had to pry it out carefully so I don't lose this little middle circular cylinder thingy piece. And I'm gonna put this off to the side right here. We can then move this little panel up, and we will see there's one more bolt we have to remove right there. That one right there. This car needs an engine cleaning. So we're going to push the headlight a little bit back. You don't want to scratch the exterior of the car. I didn't expect this headlight to have clearance issues because based on the research I did, you pretty much have to remove the whole front bumper to remove these out. Because, let me show you right here. If you see that little gray item back there, I don't know, this little thing, so I can put my finger to it. This whole thing right here, it is very much touching the fender, and there's no way to actually get this out. And there's also a little clip under here. It's like a little stick from the headlight that pops out of the headlight and goes into the radiator frame, and there's no way to get this headlight out. But the good thing is we do have enough clearance in the back that I was able to get my hands behind here and remove this right here. So I gotta show you guys that. So this, it was pushed down, I pulled it all the way up, popped out the cover, and I have enough clearance now to actually grab this headlight HID bulb out. As you guys can see right here, it's kind of tricky. There it is, the same one from factory. We're just gonna disconnect this wire right here. If you see these little notches from that bracket right there, let me see if I can point to that with this orange tool I have. Do you see that right there? These are basically like brackets holding this, so you gotta be careful not to bend those metal clips in there, because that's what's holding this headlight, this HID in place. As you can see, let me zoom in on this. It's the same exact part. Let me compare them side by side. Same exact part. Now that we have removed the old light, we're going to put all these screws back into place like I already did here. That way I have the force and pressure to install the new light back into place and have it fixed in place so it won't move or wiggle. And the unfortunate thing is we're going to have to take all those screws back off because the cover will not fit if the screws are all back on. Do not bend those pins, even the little tiny ones, not the thick ones you see on the side right here. There are smaller ones below those. The little clips will not go under here, which will make the thing a lot harder to install. Now that we have that, we're going to unscrew all of these again, push the headlight back, and install this cover. Now that we have clearance to install this cover, we can go ahead and install it. See this right here? This is the type of clearance you won't have if you have installed the headlight with all the screws back into place. So we're going to make sure this clip is holding this. It's all fitted in there. We're going to push the headlight slowly back into its place, and we're going to tighten up all 4 screws and the 2 little plastic clips back into place. Okay, the headlight's bolted back on. It's aligned with the body perfectly, just fine. And these little clips are back in place. And I placed this wire clip back in place too because I took it out for more clearance. Unfortunately, this one just decided to become really cheap and unravel. And so I will fix this later so I could put this wire back right here. Now that we have the Xenon connected, we're going to do a little test to see if it runs just fine. Wow, it's already dark time. It was like 6:30 already. Jesus. But here it is. This is one of the lights. It looks exactly the same as the other one. Same tone, same color. Let's show you what it looks like on the garage. Didn't need to adjust the lights, and they're exactly the same. This is amazing. Now let's go do this one tomorrow morning. Okay, it's morning time, but it definitely looks like it's gonna rain. Hashtag Florida weather. But I started working on a car just to make this video right here a lot easier to explain. So, we're gonna need to remove the intake box to have the clearance to be able to have the space to remove that HID bulb out. In order to remove this, well, you gotta take this out. We gotta pop this cover off. So what I did first was take off these 3 clips right here. I already popped them out with this prying tool, pushed it in, then popped it out. Pretty simple. The next thing is I'm going to locate these 2 screws, this T30 and this is T25. I already got these 2 loose, so I'll be able to remove it and show you guys. Once I got those 2 removed, we're gonna go for this other T25, remove it, T25, T30. And then from there, we can then be able to take this out of place, remove the intake hosing clamp with a flathead, and I covered it so I could protect the MAF sensor. I could protect the intake from any dust particles interfering with its mechanics, because it's always good to protect this kind of equipment. You don't want to damage it. Once you have that, we can then just simply pull this extension out. I forgot to take off the bolts. It's whatever. Just make sure you don't lose them. Once it's there, we can then disconnect the sensor, which is kind of hard to do with one hand. And then pretty much the intake is almost loose. it is connected to this bracket right here, which you're gonna pull up. And there you go, the intake is already loose. The next thing I'm gonna do is disconnect this clip. Actually, I'm gonna need a flathead for that because I want to pull it up. Come on, come on. There we go. There we go, that clip is off. We're gonna disconnect this wire right here. Then we're gonna get to this bolt right here, T30 bolt, another T30 bolt. Now once we have all that, we're gonna get the final bolt right here, and we're able to loosen the headlight to go forward, so we could pop this out and remove and replace the HID. I was honestly getting a bit OCD about the engine being so dirty, so I cleaned it pretty fast because I don't want to take up too much time trying to clean the engine of the car when it's gonna rain soon. Okay, so this bolt right here is loose. Now let's get to this one. Oh, that one's loose. Let's get to this one right here. Now that one is loose. We can then take them all out and disconnect this wire. Now that the headlight's actually loose, we're gonna push this thing forward so we can have the clearance to pop this cover out, because this cover is blocked off by this. Now that the headlight's pushed out a bit, we have the clearance to pop this up. Just like that. Open the bottom cover like this. Pop it out of place, set it off to the side. And then we're going to disconnect this wire. And then once we have that wire disconnected, we're going to push the headlight back in place. It's going to be kind of hard. And then we're going to tighten all the screws back up. The 1, 2, 3, and 4 screws, so we have enough pressure to remove the light. Now that the headlight is back in place, securely and snug and tight, we're going to disconnect this wire right here. There's a clip right there, just pull the clip back. I should really clean my hands before I touch anything else. And we're gonna remove that light right there, the HID. That wasn't too bad, okay? But the most difficult part is getting this thing into here. I can show you a lot better in this angle because it's a lot easier to show you guys. Anyways, if you look in there, you will see these little tabs right here. See these two little tiny ones? If you bend those, then fitting the new HID bulb is going to be a lot harder to do. I bent one and had to bend it back into the correct place when I took out the other one. And it took me a while, like 5 minutes, to actually get that HID bulb back in. But let's hope this one is a lot faster and easier, since I have a lot more work and room to work with than the other side. So we're going to grab this, take off the cover. In. So that wasn't too bad. I finally got it in there. And, well, yeah. So let's plug this in. And let's begin unscrewing these so we could put the cover back on. And once we put the cover back on, we could slide the headlight back into place and screw everything back on. Actually, this was a lot easier than that, because unlike this one where you can remove the intake to have all this clearance, you can't move anything out to have clearance. So I'm actually really satisfied with this installation because it was a lot quicker than that one. Anyways, now that we have removed the headlight screws, we're gonna pop the cover back in place. Need to wiggle it just a bit. There we go. And we're gonna close it. That's so hard with one hand. There we go. Now it's closed. We can push the headlight back in place and begin screwing the headlight screws back in place first. All 4 of these screws are now tightened in place. The cover is back on. The wire is connected. Let's put this clip back on right here. Now we're gonna re-add the intake again. So let's grab this and let's fit these 2 dots right here where they belong. and align this part right here with this bracket. Now that the intake is aligned in place and the two little notches at the bottom are now connected, it's kind of hard to see, so I'm sticking my phone in there, and the bracket's in place. We're going to tighten up this hose clamp, and we're going to re-add this cover back in here, and then we could finish off the work by adding the last of the intake box, and we'll start the car and see if everything's all good. Don't forget to add these clips as well. And we are done. Look how clean this looks, honestly. Just a lot cleaner than I did before. Not a detailed clean, but I did a fast clean. As you can still see, it's kind of dirty, but I plugged the MAP sensor in, the headlight sensor, everything else is in place. Now let's go start the car and see if we get any error codes. We shouldn't, because everything is all done properly. Awesome, it is now finished and complete. It looks really sexy right now. Same ones as factory, but I decided to replace both of them to help you out in this video. Instead of doing one light, I did two lights. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Please stay tuned for more features later on, future videos later on. Keep subscribing, keep supporting. I really appreciate it, you guys. And see you next one. Peace out.